but that's just me. I mean, I honestly, at the same time, never really meant to make money on doing this. When I realized how much fun doing YouTube was and still is, I was just like, that's enough for me.
Let's go.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for tuning in to the 9th episode of the TrueShot guest spot.
9 already?
Yes, it's been 9,
Jeez.
but only but 10 weeks. So we've been doing this podcast for 10 weeks now. It's pretty crazy.
It's been fun.
Yeah. On this episode, we have the one, the only Galactic Criminal here.
Galactic Criminal.
Listen, for me, man, what I really liked was learning more about the guy behind the camera. He's a super sweetheart of a guy. We talked about a lot of different topics, ranging, just from how he discovered us, just different things in terms of, his stance on paid reactions and just all that kind of stuff. And we also talked about, he's very passionate about, what's going on right now with the Black Lives Matter movement and whatnot. So, we made sure to give him a platform to that. Yeah, what was your favorite part of this podcast?
Ooh. He's kind of got this, like, eerie pirate aura of him.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
His
personality is good.
Yeah, he's just a cool guy.
Good. Yeah.
Well, that's enough chit-chat. Without further ado, enjoy the podcast.
How the hell are you, freaks? Galactic Criminal here.
That do pretty good there.
Yeah, I would say so. It's pretty deep.
Galactic Criminal here. But how you doing, man? How's it going?
I am hotter than fucking balls right now.
Is it hot where you are? I know you're in Canada. It's supposed to be freezing at all times there. Is it pretty toasty there right now?
Dude, I sweat when I'm standing. It's goddamn unbelievable. But other than that, I'm okay. I mean, it's Friday for me, so I'm feeling good.
Nice.
Yeah, you're so we've been talking a little bit back and forth the last, I think, like few weeks now on Instagram. That would have been me. I'm primarily the guy on Instagram, and
right.
You said that you're a night worker. Is that correct?
Yeah. I actually just got off work like a few hours ago. Yeah.
So I worked nights many years ago, and it was a 7 to 7 shift. Is that similar to yours?
I'm 11 till 7 a.m.
11.
And I've been doing it for like fucking 10 years now.
So yeah, how is that? I mean, especially like what time is like your right now would be the equivalent of like an 8 o'clock at night for you, correct?
Yeah, basically, it's like my Friday evening. Got my fucking beer rocking already, and
wow, yeah.
Everyone else is already just waking up, right?
Exactly, yeah. Because when I told Adam, I was like, "Yeah, he's a night worker, so I have to do like a 10 a.m." And I'm just like, I'm getting up at like 7 for this, like getting ready to go, drinking the coffee, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And here you are, just getting out of work. I think that's hilarious. So is this when you usually do your reaction? So for those of you that I'm sure everybody watching this will be aware that you're really known for reactions.
Yeah.
So is this when you what is your process, I guess? Do you kind of get out of work, pick a song, and then record it, and if you like it, you post it, or what is your process?
Kind of along those lines, I guess. I usually have something kind of picked out at the night before, or whatever, when I'm at work, and I have that time, honestly, throughout work to kind of think of what I'm going to say at the opening and stuff like that. Basically, I get home and I record right away, because like if I don't do it right away, I'm not going to fucking do it. I got all the energy. I just got home. If I don't do it right away, it doesn't happen. But yeah, I usually have something picked out. If it doesn't end up working out, if it ends up being shitty, or I don't have something to say, I'll usually have a backup or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, I come home right away, record, edit, and then upload the video like right then. I don't do any kind of backlogging or anything like that. So it's a bit of a process. Yeah.
So yeah, how did all this start for you? I'm sure, like probably like us, we're just fans of reaction channels, and we just figured, hey, maybe we could do this, and offer an interesting perspective, since we're a band. But how did it get started for you? Like, was that kind of it, just being a fan of reactions?
That's actually exactly what it was. But to be honest, when I started it, I had absolutely no intentions or even crossed my mind of doing music reactions.
Oh, really?
No, I was a big fan of React channels that did like nerdy stuff, like video game trailers, movie
I
trailers, and stuff
gotcha.
like that. So I'm like, okay, I'll just be another fat bearded guy who's talking about X-Men and shit. and I started off like that. I was doing movie trailers, TV stuff, but then it became to the point where there's no movie trailers coming out. It's like I want to make a video. What am I gonna do? So I saw a random video said like greatest drum solo ever on Facebook. So I did a reaction to that.
Okay.
And just like from there, I started getting suggestions. Somebody said like this one guy named Tatsuya Amano. He's like this drummer from Japan. He's amazing. Do a reaction to that, and from there, just kind of spitballed. People like suggesting me stuff and trips and stuff like that along the way, getting copyright strikes and learning how that shit all worked.
Yep.
But eventually it became a thing. Like my evolution of going through the metal genre, essentially, like music that I had never really been exposed to. I don't know if how far back you've watched my videos, but
yeah.
I started off as a punk guy.
Okay.
I was always into like skate punk and stuff like that,
Oh, wow.
like Propaganda, Bad Religion, No Effects, stuff like that. That's why I like the speed stuff, and when I talk about that in my videos. But I was exposed to metal, but very, very seldomly. Like a lot of the shows I went to, there wasn't a lot of metal bands, and anything I listened to was just kind of passed on through friends and stuff like that. Obviously, like the big four is stuff I listened to, but I didn't know what deathcore was or metalcore. I never heard any of that. Honestly, if I did at a show, we went outside and smoked a joint because we were like, well, this is screamo bullshit. I don't want to listen to this. So I was able to kind of educate myself going through doing these reactions. Now I'm kind of at the end of the spectrum with deathcore and that, but
Right.
yeah, it was sort of an evolution. You can kind of see I have like phases where I went to like folk metal, industrial stuff, and then like melodic death metal to like metalcore and then deathcore after that. So yeah, that's pretty much how it went from the beginning. I had no idea it was going to be a metal react channel, and now it's pretty much all I fucking do.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, so I've personally, not to toot my own horn here, but I've been watching you for I gotta say, like, man, before we even started the band, it's been like 3 years.
Holy shit! Seriously?
Yeah, it's been about I'd say at least I'd say at least 2.5, 3 years. Yeah, it's been a long time that I've been watching your channel for, because I started getting into reactions, probably around that time. It was like you and then TrueShot, which I want to do like a full, like there should be a what is it, Unsolved Mysteries episode on that guy. Where did he go?
I want to know. I want to know where he went. I was a fan of his channel too.
Is his channel still up?
It's still up, but he like just disappeared. Like he's like a ghost. Like
gone.
But somebody told me that they kind of know him. They're from London. They said they kind of know him. That I think something happened to his computer. It like died or something like that, and I think he couldn't afford to get a new computer.
Oh, really?
And he
So
just
I think
stopped.
that might be the case. Yeah, so he just stopped doing it. But that's just from like somebody who says that they know him on Instagram. They said like, oh yeah, he just stopped doing it because his computer fucked up or something.
He's just pulling the metalcore band thing where he's gonna be gone, and then 10 years from now he'll
come
reappear,
back in a
and then it'll just like explode. But so that is actually what I was going to ask. Like, you had already answered, but I was going to ask, were you into this kind of music when you started? Like, so like you said that you were into NoFX and kind of the punk stuff. So that was kind of like, what was like your first live show, like first introduction to not like exactly mainstream music, but kind of more the alternative scene? Was it kind of like the NoFX and that stuff?
Most of what I got into was like local scene stuff.
Okay.
So like pretty much like my entire CD wallet, which kids don't know what that is these days, was filled with just the CDs that I bought at shows. Any bands aside from that I knew of, again, was kind of the same idea, was people let me know about them. Like obviously
Right.
again, like in punk, it's like the big ones, No Effects and Bad Religion. You can't really miss them, but it was just kind of just kind of hear it from a friend kind of thing. But I was into. I did go to see like thrash bands. I did go to see a lot of like hardcore bands, which I feel kind of like lends toward my quote unquote knowledge that I come into when it comes to like metalcore and deathcore. Is like I come from that sort of background where there are similarities there, where like these new genres are amalgamations of those things, right? So
gotcha. That's
kind of the reason why I feel like I'm able to talk about these things, even though some people think I'm an idiot. That like, what credentials do you have? You're not in a band,
right?
See, I talk about that a little bit, because I hear people say that all the time, and I don't care if you're Yiggy Malmsteen or some professional musician who's the greatest whatever. You don't need a formal education in music to say something's good or not, because it's all personal preference.
Well, and I was going to say too, and I'm not just saying this because like I said, I've been watching you for a long, long time, and I got to say, because like there's a lot of other reaction channels that I've watched where people have, maybe they're not necessarily in a band, but they have some musical background, like they play guitar or they play drums or whatever. But I got to say, and I'm not just saying this to blow smoke, I mean this genuinely. I mean, you really offer really good insight for somebody who's not, as you say, in a band or a musician, like, because what it does, right? And I think this is super, super important. And that's why, when you just recently reacted to our song, Find Me I'm Missing, what you give is not only a really like solid explanation, like, because you don't just say, like the typical, like, wow, that was awesome, see ya, peace. But you really go into the details, and it's never just like a generic, like a line where like anybody could say it and it's not necessarily wrong or right. It's just kind of like blanketed, and you have like a few different things. And what you offer to a band like us who listens to it is that fan perspective. Because like
exactly.
I was messaging you yesterday, and I said, Adam and I and Derek and Anthony, our drummer, we sit here and we listen to our own song 55 million times before anybody hears it once. So we hear it, we're like, that's great, yeah. And then when somebody else hears it for the first time, you're able to offer us an insight that we're like, oh wow, that's a really good idea. We didn't think of that, and that's from a fan perspective. And I know that I'm kind of rambling on here, but what I'm getting at is that you're a fan of the music who also gives a really great explanation about the different elements that you would have liked to have seen or that you liked about the song.
I really appreciate that. Because it's something that I really love about my channel, is that I do tend to kind of go on at the end. I like to have, like I've said before, if I don't really feel like I have something to say, I don't feel good about the recording, then I don't want to put it out there, right? And so some people aren't a big fan of that. But then there are most of the times when I do have something to say, and there is like a good chunk of time where I do give my opinion. Like you said, some people are like, "Well, I like that. It was great." And like, comment, subscribe. It's like, well, where's your opinion on this? I want to.
Right.
And the problem with that is something that I was thinking about bringing up was how the YouTube algorithm works with that. It's like sometimes it kind of bums me out that on one side, I don't really care about views that much. I mean, I'll react to something whether I know it's going to get views or not. Like some band from Czech Republic that's probably going to get 500 views. I'll put that out there because I enjoyed it, and I'll talk about it. But the fact that the algorithm reads the average view duration of my videos at about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right, and then my videos are 12 minutes long. My videos get pulled back from the recommends and stuff like that. In their algorithm. So channels would have higher production value, they got nice lights and cameras and they got flashy shit, but no personality, get pushed to the front. And then that kind of I don't know, that kind of bums me out. It's like sometimes it's okay because if it's something huge like the Demolisher from Slaughter to Prevail, right? And it's the reaction to that. It's like, I'm only there to see your reaction anyway. I could tell right away you don't have much of a personality, but you're enjoying the music. And, and if you had something to say, I probably wouldn't listen anyways. I'll click off. And when I would watch reaction channels even before the music stuff, I would do the same thing. It would get to the end of the movie trailer or something like that, and it's just like, well, I don't care what you have to say, so I'll click off. So I get it, but at the same time, it's just like I kind of struggled with myself for a little while as to should I make the videos longer like I do, or should I just should I cut them down, limit what I have to say to only talk for a few minutes afterward. then I decided, fuck it. Whatever comes to my mind, I'm just going to keep rambling on until I'm done. Cut it however I want. Cut out shit maybe that I said that might not come across that great, but I'll keep it as long as I want it to be.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I appreciate about my channel. That's what I appreciate about channels like yours. And like you said, I come from like a fan's perspective, is that I like your channel because it's coming, channels like yours because it's coming from a musician's perspective. Right. So at the same time as where I would check out a reaction where they might say something similar to me, react similar to me, I get to see like the more analytic side of it and talking about what's actually going on within the music. It's like, hey, this is the kind of technique maybe that they're using. It's something that I might not know about, like guitar wise or drum wise. I call it like taka taka. That's just a generalization of like an up tempo section, right? It's not just like it's one drum style. I kind of generalize just like it's an up tempo section, and that's what I like, right? Yeah. But then you can kind of say like this is the style of drum that they're using. These are the drums that he's using. It's something that I've used before. I've heard on different channels and that. So yeah, I appreciate your channel for that. I'm surprised it took me as long as it did for me to find it, but
yeah, that's what I always ask, because we had Metal Burb on, we had Nick Nocturnal on before you, and I wanted to ask you how did you find us? Because because like I got to be honest, like when Metal Burb, Nick Nocturnal, and when you first messaged us, I text Adam right away. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, Galactic Criminal just messaged us. People like, what the hell? Because like I said, I've been watching you for so long, and I've been the guy in the comment section. Oh, you got to react to this. You got to react to this. And now you're messaging us. It's like your moment. I remember I watched a video a long time ago where I think it was you had said something about I think Mark Hamill, who was liked one of your tweets or something, and you were like, oh my God.
Yeah,
but,
so I'm
cool. Curious how did you find us? Like I'm very curious of that.
It was totally random. It was YouTube recommended. I was on YouTube on my Xbox, and it said
algorithm.
Yeah, it said metal band reacts. I was like, fucking yes, finally. Like sometimes it's just like one guy, like Nick Nocturnal. He doesn't do a lot of reactions, but he does some, and I watch his stuff. Yeah. But again, like I said, I like to see the analytics side. So when I see there's actually two guys that are able to go back and forth about their opinion and have a better discussion rather than just one person's opinion, I was just like, fuck yes. I ended up binging a bunch of that stuff, man. And it's so awesome, especially like when we do similar bands, like the Wind Covenant.
Yo, we got to talk. I want to come back to that.
Oh, buddy. Fucking right. When I did that reaction, and then I saw that you guys did it, I was like, yes. Not only do I get to hear the fucking song again, and like I've already listened to it like 100 times by then.
You and me both.
But I was like, yes, now I get to see another perspective of something that I absolutely love, which is also one of my favorite things about doing reactions is that I'll react to a band and then I'll go and watch like 20 other fucking reactors.
It's great.
Yeah.
When it comes to something that I really like, right? That's why like I share it all the time. Like you'll probably get more from me even from now on. It's like I'll just send a suggestion. And you don't have to react to it. It's just like, holy shit, I thought this was cool. I'll send it to fucking everybody. They all got to hear this. I want to see the opinion of all these different reactors. If it doesn't happen, it's whatever, right? But I just send it regardless, just to throw it out there, especially when it's something a little more obscure, or something that has only got like 500 views or something that deserves more. It's happened on many occasions, like the new one from Sensory Amusia, the singer from Despite Exile. It's got less than 1,000 views, I think, still. This brand new track. I mean, it's like a lyric video and stuff like that, but I see other bands that like are less known than that don't get as many views. So I like to push that stuff forward, get it as much attention as I can, even the small platform that I have.
Right.
I mean, I do what I can, right?
Well, I wouldn't say of a small platform. I mean, Mr. Criminal, you have over 118,000 subscribers. I mean, that's not a small platform. That's like you have the platform.
90% of those motherfuckers forgot about me the second they hit the button. For fuck's sake, I mean, average views is like 2,000. It used to be a lot more views that I would get with like the Japanese bands and stuff like that, and it's become less now. But again, it's not like that for the views for me. It's still just the fun of it and the engagement, and I like that it's kind of small in that regard. But I'm not really sure where I was going with that. But yeah,
no, because when we first started the channel. I thought, because I had always wanted to do a reaction channel personally, but then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what can I mean, obviously I'm in a band and I'm a vocalist, but I'm not exactly like a musician, right? Like I don't understand a lot of that stuff. I've learned a lot from Adam. then I'm like, I don't know if I can do this and have it be like as successful. Not that I want to like be like world famous on YouTube for reactions, but I'm like, I don't really know what I can offer that like a lot of other channels can't offer. So I said to Adam, I said, what we need to do, because we're, like I said, we're in a band, we're trying to think of innovative ways to get our music out there, is I said, Adam, I want you to be in this with me, because I offer kind of like a fan perspective, but also like a little bit of like a musician kind of perspective, and Adam can really go into like the different scales and time signatures and all that stuff that I listen to, and I'm just like, I don't know what any of that means. But so that I'm glad that you appreciated that, because that was my intent, was to be like, I've never really seen like a band, not that we're, it's only two of us, so we're not the whole band, but I've never seen that before, so I thought that'd be kind of interesting, and I'm glad that resonated with you.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, I haven't been able to stop watching your guys' channel. It's on my daily rotation. I check in every single day to see what you guys have reacted to, and a lot of times it's something that maybe I've gone to check out and maybe just didn't resonate with me, and so I kind of skipped on it. And then you guys did it. I'm like, okay, well, what did they think about it? And then other times, like I said, like it's something that I love, and I'm just like, holy fucking balls, they did it too. But then it's like it says premiering in like 10 o'clock. I'm like, come on, let's fucking go. It's just
we got you. We've hooked you.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask you about too, and I'll let Adam talk here eventually. But I tend to just go.
This is what he does. He has fun.
I just go.
I just interject as needed.
So I really wanted to ask you about that, in terms of how, because this isn't any secret, I know you've talked about this on your channel, but you'll sit down to react to something, but then sometimes won't post it, and I'm very curious as to, I guess, why.
I mean, it kind of feels even like pretentious to me now when I think about, like, and I've said this in the past, is why I do that, is I can generally tell within the first 10 to 20 seconds of a song if I'm going to like it or not.
Okay.
Like pretty much right away. And so like I've got like I said, I work night shift. I've got about 6 hours of time after that before I have to go to sleep and work, get up the next day. So I'm like, if this is taking too long for me, like it's just going to piss me off to make a video and everything like that. So if the first try doesn't work and then my backup doesn't work, either a video doesn't come out that day or I try something else. But yeah, it's generally that it's just the track isn't vibing with me. It's not pulling a reaction out of me, and I don't feel like I'm going to be happy about putting the video up. Like I've kind of always said that I want anyone watching my channel to click on any video and at least kind of like a song, if not totally fall in love with the band altogether.
I got you.
So then people say, well, why don't you put up the reactions to stuff that we've asked for that you didn't like? I'm just like, well, because then at the end of the track, I feel kind of bummed that it wasn't great, and then I'm gonna shit on a band that is gonna allow me to use their music in a video, free of charge, and like piggyback on their popularity. And at the end of the video, I'm like, oh, this band sucks and this is fucking stupid, and then upload that and then not feel good about it, Not like I want to upload a video and think like I want to be so excited to upload a video that I just can't wait to get through the edit,
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess I just wasn't sure if maybe you had a bad experience in the past with a band, that maybe you had posted something and a band was just like, what the hell, man, or whatever. Because because to me personally, because I mean, we talked and I don't have any problem. I understand why our song Paradigm wouldn't be for some people. It's a different kind of, it's a weird kind of track. There's no structure to it. There's a lot of like weird breaks and stuff like that. So I understand why it's not for some people. But I personally would have loved that, even if you didn't like it, I would have loved to have seen, because I think what happens, right, is especially for band people, when they watch a reaction, I think they're always anticipating people to love it, and I think that is
the opposite though.
Right, and I'm looking for even if you're man, that song really didn't grab me, and this is why. I mean, obviously we can't go back and fix the song; it's out there.
Right,
right. But I understand that and that's why we kind of did it where we released Paradigm, that kind of song, and we did Find Me I'm Missing, which is more of an up-tempo, kind of straight through, kind of more traditional style song. I'm I kind of want to gauge to see the difference of people here. So I personally would say that I would have loved to have seen it, even though I know you didn't like it, and I really don't. I don't take any offense to it at all. Doesn't bother me at all. But I think people might want to see that. I'm not saying like you should change how you do your channel or anything like that, but at least for me anyway, I would have enjoyed that.
Yeah, there's honestly quite a few videos actually on my channel where something didn't exactly strike me the right way, but there were things about it that I did really love. I mean, like I just did the I don't want to spoil it, the new Crystal Lake.
Yeah, we watched it. Don't do it. La 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 la.
No, go ahead.
But in the past, there's been other bands that there was things I liked about it enough that I felt that I could speak about those things, and then I could actually kind of say like, this is what I didn't like about this track, like kind of how I the kind of the words that I said about Paradigm in the last reaction to your guys' stuff. It's stuff that I like to be able to be critical of something.
Right.
And not just straight up hated. I mean, in the past, there have been some that were abysmal, and I just shit on them. I shit on them hard, and I still get comments to this day from videos from like 4 years ago that I did a reaction to saying, this shit fucking sucks. This guy's stupid. There was one, I'm not going to remember the name of this band right now, but it was one of those bands where they're trying to be like Nightwish. That
we'll talk about them in a second.
Symphonic metal thing, right?
Yep.
Like a mellow death symphonic thing, but then there's two lead vocalists. One is this like really hot chick who's wearing almost nothing, and there's this other guy who's like this David Draymond wannabe doing Rich's eyes, doing this thing into the camera, and like power fists and shit like that.
I have big eyebrows.
It's like, oh my god, this is awful. This is the worst thing I ever heard in my entire life. And the hate that I got, the negativity, the death threats that I got, that I had to delete and report. Really? Dude, it happened. Oh yeah, dude. It happened on another band
those symphonic
too.
Those symphonic metal fans are just like
death
to everybody else.
And the old school metal fans are even worse than that. I did a reaction to a band called Savatage, a band from the 80s. It was called the Hall of the Mountain King or something like that. And it was like 5 minutes of the same riff repeated over and over again with a solo in the middle. And they're just like, that was the best record that I ever heard in my life. And I'm like, I'm 80 years old and you're an idiot. I'm just like, dude, like, that was the exact same riff the entire time. It was just this flat note of nothing and the video was cringier than fuck. And they're like, you're just laughing at the video the whole time. This is the best band that's ever. This guitarist is It's like. It's like after that, I really had to kind of sit back and think, do I want this negativity for something that's just a hobby for myself?
Right.
So that's also part of it. It's just like, and like since I started doing it the way that I started doing it, whereas like I am critical, but I do it of like something like a manager who's firing somebody, start off with something nice, and then be shitty to them, but then end nice.
Sandwich.
Three good things and then the one bad,
Right, exactly. So I try doing it a little bit more that way, being a little bit more diplomatic about what I'm trying to say, as rather than being like, well, this band sucks and I'm never listening to them again. I can say like, I enjoyed this and this, but this and this and this is why I didn't like it. So that's more or less the reasoning, I guess, behind the way I do my shit, I guess.
Yeah, because we did Nightwish, and people who have watched our channel more than one time, because it's funny, like you have all these subscribers, but you only notice that like maybe a handful of people
5%
watch a lot of the content, and so anybody who watches our channel a lot, they know that like if you give us a song to react to,
that's over 3.5 minutes.
That's over like my limit like for attention spans like. Maybe 5. Anything over 5 minutes, it's got to be really interesting stuff to really hold me. So, like, we did not. But so have you had any interaction with like bands or different artists that have like reached out to you?
Oh, dude. Oh,
Like, so
my
what are some of
favorite
your
part.
top ones? Yeah, what are some of your top ones that come to mind?
My absolute favorite part to this day is getting a response from a band, something I never thought was going to happen. I don't know if you're familiar with this man, and now I can't remember what the name of the bands he's been in were. His name was Snowy Shaw. He's a guitarist.
Never
He was
heard
in
of
some.
him.
Fuck, now I can't remember. I should have looked it up beforehand because I thought you were going to ask this question too. So, but I looked up what bands he was in. I was like, holy shit, these are some like pretty big bands. I reacted to like a single project that he had, like a solo thing that he did very early on, and that was the first time somebody reached out to me. I was like, he saw it. Holy shit, I gotta watch my video again and think about what he was thinking about when he saw my video. And to this day, it's still kind of that same thing. I don't know who the biggest one for me is. I think the first one that was the biggest was Scythecore from Germany.
Okay.
I did a bunch of reactions. I've done a bunch of reactions to videos of theirs in the past, like post-apocalyptic, like industrial style of German death metal. Man, it's awesome shit. And they loved my reaction so much that it was like the day of, they saw it. We love the show. You showed the shit so much. We want to send you a shirt. I was like, oh my God, holy fuck, they're going to send me a shirt. That's awesome. I mean, I would have loved to get a shirt from a band back in the scene or something like that for free. And then all of a sudden I get friggin' the guy showed up with the mail. It's the big old fucking box. It's like, what the fuck is this? They sent me, they're like, I have it in the background here behind me on the couch. I have their record, which I don't have a record player, so I've never used it, but they sent me like,
looks cool.
Yeah, right? They sent me 2 t-shirts, a hoodie, and like 3 albums. I was like, holy fuck, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's happened a few times since then. Honestly, so much as today, right before this, I got a fucking message from Nicholas, the singer from Orbit Culture. He says, we love your reactions. We want to send you some shit. It's like, holy fuck. Like, that's incredible. But even just somebody in the comments, somebody just like, I did a random reaction, something that I found, something that somebody suggested, and seeing like in the comments, someone saying, dude, we loved your reaction. That's so awesome that you did this. I appreciate it. Like, that's what I'm all about, man. Representing these bands, especially, again, like I think I said before, the ones that are lesser known. They're like kind of underground bands, and they just email me, ask me to check it out, and it ends up being some sick shit. I'm like, these guys deserve views.
Yeah,
these guys definitely deserve my attention.
Yeah, we just did a band called Leica, and
I have an email from them. I haven't responded.
You
gotta check it out.
Intoxicated, I think they probably want you to do.
I think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah,
check it out.
I won't say
anything. I won't say anything more. Did we just post that either today or
yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
You got to check them out.
It's funny because I think the other thing too with the reaction channels is that I think it's funny. So you have like this group of people who are looking specifically for one band, like Current's Into Despair reaction or whatever. But then you have another sect of people who will watch all the videos to discover new bands. So our former drummer, he actually discovered Scythecore through you. So that kind of stuff does happen. It exists. Because he's like, because he and I kind of we've been friends for a long, long time, and we both have watched you for a long time, and he's just like, he actually texted us on Wednesday, both Ab and I, because we're still in contact with him, on Wednesday before you had reacted to our song, and he texted us and he said, word for word, he said, how do we get Galactic Criminal to react to your video? Like, that's just what he said.
Out of nowhere,
you're kind of a celebrity. How does that make you feel?
I definitely get that sometimes. It's kind of hard to like quantify it when it comes to like the internet, because I do see the comments all the time. I'm not one of those, like, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not in there like engaging with everybody and that, like I'll like stuff when I'm going through. But that is definitely something that I love when I get like DMs and stuff like that, and like comments of people saying, dude, Galactic Criminal's best metal reaction channel on the fucking internet. Dude, I find so many awesome bands through your channel. It's so, like, and it makes me feel good about that idea I said before about I like to highlight stuff that I think is at least good, if not amazing. So that like people can do that. They can go to my channel and they can find really cool stuff, So I get that sometimes. It kind of throws me back. I'm just like, but then I don't want to. It sounds pretentious again. You kind of get used to it when you're seeing it in text form.
Yeah.
You just going through the comments. Most of my comments, I'm sure most of your comments are the same thing as, you should check this out. You should check this out. You should check that out. Of that. I just got somebody today saying they want me to check out Hypa.
Oh, you got it, dude.
No, he already has.
You saw it?
I think Nick Nocturnal had put it up, and It was something I wasn't even really thinking about. Nobody had asked me to check it out yet, or at least I hadn't seen it yet. I thought, oh, Nick Nocturnal new video. Let's check it out. And I was like, oh, that was kind of dumb. I mean, like, the last 30 seconds was pretty cool. And then I started getting the comments coming in, check it out, check it out. I'm just like, well, I've already seen it. And I thought it was kind of dumb. It would be kind of redundant at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, I could do like what people, I can do what I know I've seen people having done because I've seen them lip syncing to it, saying it's the first time I've ever heard it before.
Yeah,
and they just upload it for the views, and then you see them lip syncing to the lyrics or something like that, or it's just like no, I'm not going to put that up there. And it's the worst thing about the internet, especially YouTube, is like you can tell one person in the comments, I've already heard it, I didn't like it, I thought it was dumb, but then like 50 other comments are going to roll in, check out the song. It's like, I'm not going to go around to everybody. Hopefully at some point they're just going to get the idea. And somebody in the comments just like asked me about that, and I responded to him, and somebody else said, well, he doesn't even listen to suggestions anymore from his subscribers from the comment section. And I was just like, you know what? I got to say something. So I responded to him and said, listen, dum-dum, I check out the comments all the time, and I take your suggestions. If your suggestions like it would stop sucking, then they would probably be coming, like more like reactions. Somebody like asking me to check out something, and I turn it on. It's like, what are these kids, like 12?
Yeah. And
this video sucks. Right. This song is brutal. It's just like, am I going to still put that out there? It's like, no, I don't feel good about that. It's just, I don't know. I'm kind of a dick like that, but
no. But I think that's actually kind of interesting. I'm sitting here thinking about it. It's like if for the people who have watched you for a long, long time, they can anticipate that when you upload a song, that they're kind of already, part of your community. So they're like, oh, I can go into this video expecting to maybe like this song rather than like this mysterious, like, what's he going to think?
What am I going to get today?
Yeah, right. So I think that's actually kind of interesting. It's not pretentious at all. I mean, it's just the galactic criminal stamp of approval. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's actually like a really interesting idea. So
yeah, it's just something that I've been a fan of for a long time. It's just really good stuff. And then again, at the end of the week, I'm vain as fuck. I'll go back and watch all my reactions again. Especially again, like I said, if I got a comment from the band saying that they like the reaction. But again, at the same time, I've done this since I've started. I watch my reactions again after the week is out because I like to watch them as like from a viewer's perspective.
Yep.
Right.
Even though I did like the editing and stuff like that. Even when I edit, I don't watch the part where I reacted. So that by the end of the week, I can rewatch my reaction and kind of get that enjoyment again from it, but also kind of go from a standpoint of if somebody clicked on my video on their Xbox and they watched it, this is what they saw and what could be changed about that. Maybe there was like a way that I said something that could be done different next time, that I didn't catch the first time around. That's something that kind of comes with experience, is doing it as long as I have. Right. I kind of get that stuff out of the way before the like in the edit suite.
Yeah.
If I said something that kind of didn't sound right, or I had to do like a retake or whatever of something that I wanted to say, which, God fucking damn it, happened today. I couldn't get words out sometimes where like I sit there, okay, I think, what is my intro going to be? What's the stupid name I'm going to call my fans? And then, like maybe introduce the band in some way, say where they're from or something like that. And then I go to say it, my mouth just goes, and I'm like, I could imagine being my neighbors at like 8 o'clock in the morning, hearing me going, fucking cunt, fucking fuck. You see that on some of my reactions. I'll put like a flub or something before my intro, where I couldn't get the words out. And it's like, God, it's just say accepting. That's the word, accepting. I'm like,
I can picture a mother and child walking by, and the kid being like, and the mother goes, That's the man with Tourette's, honey. Keep moving along.
Well, it's funny because like in my apartment building, the walls are like thick and like old school. You can't hear anything in between apartments. But if you're in the hallway outside of somebody's door, you can hear everything. So somebody's like leaving their apartment in the morning to go to work at like 9 a.m. and I'm sitting there just swearing my fucking brains out. Just yelling and cursing. I haven't had any complaints yet, but
it's Galactic Criminal. He's drinking at 8 o'clock again.
Yeah.
Fucking right, bud.
So there's one topic that I want to get to, but before I get to that, this is kind of a pretty cliche, generic question, but what are some of your favorite bands that you've discovered through the reactions that like you had never heard before until you did reactions? So I'm gonna guess probably like Psychcore is probably on there, but so what are some bands that you were like you discovered through the reactions and now they're like one of your favorite bands today?
Oh man, there were a lot earlier on, and I guess I'm kind of blanking on some stuff. I really liked. I guess we can go like Melodic Death was like Wolfheart was one of my biggest pullaways from that genre. There was a bunch of them, dude. I think more recently though, I found my niche in like the blackened deathcore, like symphonic blackened deathcore. You know, a lot of bands like the Shadow of Intent.
Oh,
you know, guys like that. Bands like Cabal, fucking Breathing Process, who are kind of a lesser known band. I fucking loved them for a long time. That's kind of become my niche as time went on. But I mean, like Architects, the first time I heard them.
Yeah.
And obviously Crystal Lake was like a massive turning point in my React channel. Is to finding metalcore. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure Architects came after that video I did of theirs called Prometheus. You can see in that reaction, if you've never seen it, it's cringy, it's old, badly edited and everything, but you can see the turning point is when he did this growl, just like, I was like, what was that? I was in the middle of talking, because early on, I would say my opinion was completely 180 degrees from what it is now, is to coming to scream vocals. I would say to reactions with the had them, that you should really only use screaming in accent moments in a track and use less harshes and cleans. You know, that was my thing. Because I like thrash bands that had like more clean style vocals, Metallica, you know, or like Maiden and stuff like that. So that's where I came from. And then I started hearing bands that would have like accented vocal moments that were like scream bass. And that's what you got to do. But again, when I heard Crystal Lake for the first time and they were screaming through the whole track, I was like, oh my God, I just got hard. What the hell happened just there? I like that band has absolutely been one of my 110% favorites of all time. And I was just talking to a friend of mine last night about this and the whole like quarantine thing, and the fact that bands can't tour and shit, and like how shitty it is that you can't go to see bands. Crystal Lake came to the town that I'm in, like I think was it last year, and I had to miss it.
Oh, I was gonna ask if you've seen them live, because we have.
They're from Japan. They came to Canada. They were playing in the town, this like kind of small town that I'm in before they hit Toronto. And I was gonna get tickets, and my boss wouldn't let me move a vacation day to that day for night shifts, because I gotta leave for work at 10 o'clock at night, and that's when the show was about to kick off, right? So I couldn't go. I couldn't see one of my favorite bands ever. And the same thing happened with The Artist Murder. Came to my fucking town, and I couldn't move a vacation day because someone else had it. I was like, really? When am I gonna fucking see these bands again?
I know
Oh, dude, such a bummer. Yeah.
I won't tell you how much you missed out. I'm sorry, man. I mean, they are just unreal live.
I've watched some live footage of them, dude. Oh.
We had what's the lead singer's name?
Rio.
Rio. Rich, we can't hear you, brother.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotcha. Yeah, Royo, right?
I think it's Rio or Rio.
Yeah, I mean, he literally climbed over us as we through the crowd, and he's like 2 feet away from us, screaming in people's faces. It was sick. It was sick.
I can just imagine, dude. Like again, I saw more recently after I checked out their video the other day. I won't say nothing about it, but I watched some of the live footage that they have from last year where they actually played that song. And another one they released that I plan to check out on Monday. So this is from an EP, if you didn't know. And they released just I hate that they did this, because they just have the album art. It's just the album art and then the track. There's no visualizer or anything.
Oh yeah.
And it's fine because I love the band so much I'm gonna do it anyway. But it's kind of a bummer that one wasn't the music video, because everyone's saying I can't say this. You haven't listened to this shit yet. I can forget that. Yeah. But for reactions, when there's not something to look at for me,
right?
I can't just sit there and listen to music by myself and not be bored. But for a reaction, something visual needs to be happening there, so they're not just looking at my dumb face the whole time.
Yeah.
There needs to be a visualizer moving around and lyrics on the screen or something like that to kind of put that
right
mildly. I guess it's just. That's, again, why I don't really do, a lot of lyric videos and that shit either. If I could do a music video more so than that, I'd prefer it.
Right.
But, I was just going on a tangent there, too. Fucking edit.
No, so that's what we tend not to do much editing, even with our reaction videos. I mean, we'll do little cuts here or there if we have, a technical issue. But we don't do a ton of... I mean, it's really candid. you know, a lot of our stuff is really candid. So how much editing do you end up doing per video?
You can actually kind of tell when you watch my videos and whether I really, really love something or not, as well as how long it is actually in between those snap cuts.
Yep.
But for the most part, I can just kind of, like, as the song's going on, like the thoughts are going through my head as to my opinion of it and what I like and what I'm going to say. So I take maybe like a minute afterward, not even sometimes, to just kind of start going. So for the most part, like the edit of what I have to say afterward isn't really that much, other than if I like have a brain fart and I stop and think, okay, what did I want to say here? Or like I said something incorrectly, or I fumbled or something like that. So there's not much editing aside from like the beginning of the video, depending on how much I had to say or what I had to say. There's cuts there. You see that. But yeah, like most of the time an edit for me is like 25, 30 minutes and it's exporting. So that's what I love so much about reaction channels too, is it's easy.
Exactly. No, it is. I get super like annoyed when not annoyed, I guess, but like when I see a reaction channel and it's like a cut, like every like word. It's like, dude, can you not form a sentence? Like, what's going on here? It's like, yeah, and so I checked out the song, and it's just like, why is there a jump cut? Like,
I think that's a YouTuber thing. I've seen that a lot too, and it happens on like some other platforms as well. As they do these quick edits. I don't know if you ever watched Alex Hefner.
Oh yeah.
I used to fucking hate that guy. But like now I start watching his stuff because he does tend to have some interesting opinions from time to time, coming from a different perspective of like a non-metal fan becoming a metal fan is interesting. Yeah. But he does that too. He does the YouTuber thing, and like especially in his intros, with lots of crazy cuts and like like memes that are tossing in there and stuff like that. Right. Because I think people just have very short attention spans.
Maybe,
so that's also kind of why like I try to put a lot of energy into the beginning of my videos.
Yeah,
because I want to get people like engaged in that, and that's another reason why sometimes maybe a video won't come out on a day, because I try 2 times to check out a band and just the energy's gone.
Yeah,
I could never do the whole like backlog thing, because by the time I'm done recording one reaction and I've like talked my brain off, my voice is gone, the energy's just drained out of me. I'm just like, all right, that one's fucking going up. That's fucking done right there.
Yeah.
So what were you gonna say, Adam?
You guys only get together like once a week, right? So it makes sense that you would want to do more and then be able to edit them and put them out throughout the week. So that absolutely makes sense. I'm just done by the end.
Yeah, I mean, we try to do like a video per day-ish. So I think, that's definitely something that we try to do. But we obviously, if we're doing a reaction or something like that, and it's just like we're dead, or we know we're not going to be able to give it what it needs to be given in terms of time and energy, we'll cut it. We're done for the day. Okay, we only got 3 or 4 done this week. Maybe we can do it. And remote allows us to do it, a little bit differently too, sporadic throughout the week. But I definitely hear you on that. I did have a question, and then.
You forget?
I forgot it. So go, Rich, and I'll remember it.
All right. So I know that you had made a video. I tried to go back this morning and find this video that you had posted. I couldn't find it, but there was a video where you had actually talked about different channels, that paid reactions essentially. And I know that obviously the way that you do your channel, that's something you obviously don't do. I just kind of wanted to get your opinion and insight into that whole, model, kind of like for different reaction channels, because, we're as a band, I've definitely gone to like a Reactor's Patreon, and it's like, $5, $10, $20, and I'm just like, it's short cash. I want to get as much exposure as I can for as little cost. But I noticed that you don't do that, and what I was also going to piggyback off of that and say was, because Metal Burb, who has probably about less than half of what you have for a subscriber base, they once got offered $400 for a reaction. So have you ever? And I was going to say, have you ever been offered like an exorbitant amount of money for a reaction? Like what? So yeah, I guess what's your opinion on it, and have you been offered some big sum for it?
First, for the Patreon thing, I'm all for it. I mean, if you're not withholding content from people, like if it's like, I'm not a big fan of like, oh, this is exclusive to Patreon kind of idea. But if you're just like, hey, if you want to support us, here's how you can do that. You can go to this place and you can give us some money because you can't make money off of music reactions. They're copyright claimed most of the time. So some people want to make money off of doing that, and I absolutely get that, and I'm all on board for it. I'm not all on board for accepting money for doing a reaction. And I get that sometimes. I get it quite often, actually, and I actually email them. Even if I don't do the reaction, I wonder, where are you getting this information from where you're asking what I ask for? I've never actually been given a number, but I'm asked all the times, like, what would your requirements be, and how much money would you charge for a reaction? I'm like, and I think that's what I said in maybe that, like, one or two videos.
Yeah.
How could anybody accept money from for doing a reaction for a band? You should be, like, I think I said, I kind of alluded to before, you should be honored the fact that you get to piggyback on top of this band's popularity and, like, search and everything on YouTube. They're allowing you to use their music for free and just put it out there and become, internet famous with their name. I could never ask for somebody to give me money. Even honestly, even when people ask, like, can I send you stuff? I'm just like, well, it's the quarantine, man. Should you really be giving away your merch? I mean, if you really want to, I kind of feel bad, But that's just me. I mean, I honestly, at the same time, never really meant to make money on doing this. When I realized how much fun doing YouTube was and still is, I was just like, that's enough for me. That's enough for me that it's fun. If I start putting money into it, where it becomes a factor, that might start influencing my reactions. Somewhere down the road, am I going to fake a reaction to something because somebody wants to give me $400, $500 for the reaction, and then just pretend that I like it?
Yeah, see, that's something I couldn't do.
I could never do that.
Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, if somebody wanted to pay for the product, I would have to say, listen, I'll react to it, but I'm not going to say I like it if I don't like it. I just wouldn't be able to do that. The expectation for me would have to be out there ahead of time, And if they don't want to pay me for it, then that's fine. But I'm not gonna, to me, it's not genuine.
Because I was gonna say, because I mean, you've been working at night for so many years. I mean, has it ever tempted you to be like, oh man, I could monetize the hell out of this, not do the night shift anymore, just do this YouTube reaction stuff for a living? Because I mean, seriously, like if you put on Patreon right now, $100 for a reaction, the money would come in. I would. I know that it would. And so what I'm doing is I'm kind of tempting you a little bit just to see how you react to it. But has that crossed your mind at all? No.
I don't think that I could. I honestly don't think that I could. Even though my job is monotonous, I like getting out. I like getting out and going and doing a job and making money, like interacting with people at work. And like if I had to do just like videos every day, I would hate it. I would learn to hate it. Same reason, like I said, like just getting like paid for it. Even if I was still working and paid for it, I would start to not like it as much. It would become something that I don't want to do anymore. Like, well, now I'm obligated to do this thing because I said that I would for a certain amount of money, and they've already given me the money, so I've got to I got to do it. And again, it might start influencing the way that I do it, and then it's not a fun thing for me anymore. So yeah, I think that's kind of my stance on that. It would just kind of drag me down. I'll just like sink, be one like begrudging guys, like turn on a smile when the camera comes on, But
yeah, because I do find it like a little strange, like especially like for example, like if Matt Heafy from Trivium was like, I'll react to your song for $50. That is something I'd pay for, because it's like, okay, I want Matt Heafy, but like if it's like random YouTuber X and they're charging like $100 for a reaction, plus it has to be like these certain parameters, like this many views, and I'm like, what the hell are you to like be charging this kind of, like, who are you, Beethoven? Like I mean, like what is this? Like, it's $100 for a reaction. I'm just some guy, and it has to be, at least it has to be under 7 minutes long and at least 1 million views, and I'm like, what the hell, guy? Like, what? Like, all
something's
these,
got
like,
1 million
parameters.
views. I'm doing that for free because there's mutual benefit between the artist and the reaction channel. You know?
Exactly, and like that's what we had said. Like we had did this channel, and we've kind of, I don't want to say we've stayed in a box. I mean, we've ventured out of it a little bit, but we're kind of like in like the core box, so to speak, like metalcore, deathcore, because that's the style of music we do. And we figure if people listen to this stuff, maybe by virtue they'll listen to us as well, and from there, however many people like us, that's great. So
Yeah, that's where I am too. I'm in the same. I feel like I'm in that same genre of because that's what I've been listening to. That's what I like now. And I kind of feel sometimes going back to stuff that's not quite as heavy. Yeah. It has to really hit in a certain way for me to really enjoy it. Like it's like a melodic death metal band who just does like a blast beat the entire time with the same riff for 7.5 minutes. I'm just like, well, that got me the first time 3 years ago, but like now it's just the same. It's just the same thing. Even like me kind of shying away from a lot of the more like gent metalcore stuff. Is that starts to sound exactly the same. They're using the exact same like rhythms in the gent and stuff. It's like, well, that's the same song I just heard yesterday. Right. I'm probably not going to do that. There needs to be something there to kind of be different, differentiate themselves for me. And that's another reason why I might not put up a reaction to a band. It's like, well, I heard 3 bands last week that sounded exactly like this one. So it's not that they were bad. It's just it would just be a reaction me sitting there going just like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, heard it before.
Like,
yeah.
I'll still put my energy behind it, whether like what was it? Aversion's Crown came out with some new stuff recently that I reacted to, and the people are saying, "Oh, they sound just like Diarist Murder. They sound exactly like Diarist Murder, and the new Fit for an Autopsy stuff. They sound exactly like that." It's like, yeah, well, I fucking love that shit. So I'm gonna flip my head around. It's like, well, you say you like that, but you don't like this stuff for the same reason because it sounds too much to say. It's just like, dude, it's subjective, man. It's music.
Very.
It's fucking it's taste. Right. It's the way that shit hits. It's like the first 20 seconds, this thing is already hitting. It's not gonna matter what happens in the rest of it. That first 20 seconds, I'll be able to talk about that. Yeah, so I'll just let's fucking go. It's like if I didn't like some of the rest of the stuff because it sounded too generic, is the fucking word I keep seeing. I hate. It's not diplomatic enough, and like for me, I saw it on the reaction to your guys' stuff.
Yeah. That
I did. Somebody said, "Oh, it's generic."
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I would. I don't take offense to it, but
they made something that maybe sounds like stuff that they enjoy. So that's what they put out there.
So what I do, and I don't know if people expect this or not, but what I like to do is I like to, kind of hide in the shadows in the comment section of the reaction videos. So that way when I comment back, I don't want to say kill them with kindness, but it's just like I don't get like very upset by that stuff. Pretty much I just comment back and I'm just like, hey man, well thanks for checking it out nonetheless. And then what usually ends up happening is they're like, oh my god, the band responded, and they go into like, oh man, like I like this part, I like that part, like they get all like they're not expecting the
interaction, right? That connection.
You just reminded me of it. Oh dude, it was a while ago now. It was probably 2018. Maybe 2017, I can't remember. It was very early on when I was still getting negative comments. Nowadays, I almost get none. And if there are negative comments, the other people in the comments come to bat for me, so I don't even have to go in there. And I'm just like, oh, if you don't like it, fuck off, kind of thing. Like, I don't have to say it now. This is great. But in the early days, I did get a lot of hate. And I think I said to you before, is I had like death threats and shit sometimes. I ignore it. I'm not going to respond to it. It's just, it's what's the fucking word? It's troll.
Keyboard warrior.
Bullshit. They're probably 12 years old. You got to assume they're like at least 12 years old. Their thumbnail picture is like an anime girl or something. It's like, oh, fuck off. Get out of here. Yeah. Some little kid said to me like one day, he's like, I hate your channel. Your reactions are fake. You should go and kill yourself. So I responded to him. I said, okay. And I left it, and I just watched as he kept commenting over. Dude, I was just kidding. Don't actually do it. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, and all this shit. And it was for like a week after. He just kept responding on that same comment, and I never said a word back to him. I was like, that's what you fucking get, you little shit. I hope you feel like shit for like a fucking year for telling me like that I might have killed myself.
Yeah. In the U.S., you can get charged for that.
Dude,
like if you don't have a thick skin on fucking YouTube, which I do, I see those comments and that just comes right off my back. Just say "come" on my back. It's gross. Fucking.
Hey, it was on your camera before, and now it's on your back.
Right?
It's just dripping from the ceilings.
I was
just semen everywhere.
Your neighbor is getting quite the experience with you there. It's Yeah,
you
go
have
ahead.
you have to have a tough skin when it comes to this stuff, and then you see like these kids that just like, I want to be viral, so little girl's doing her vlog every day about how her milk was bad today or something, and then somebody tells her to kill herself, and then like it happens, man.
Yeah,
it does.
It's like they take that personally. They think it's a personal attack when it's just somebody craving attention. It's like, you're on this thing that I watch. I'm not on this thing that I watch, so I just want to be a part of it. So I'll just say something, and then maybe you'll respond to me. And just kind of bait you into reacting to that kind of shit. It's like, that's bully mentality. Just if you don't respond to it, you don't address it. And the worst thing you could ever do is respond. Is to make a video saying, I'm so sick of people saying that I shouldn't be on YouTube because I'm fat. And then all you're gonna get for 2 years is people telling you you're fat and kill yourself. It's like it's a place that you really have to come in like with some trepidation as to what your expectations are. You're thinking you're just going into this thing and I'm going to become famous. I'm going to be the next Markiplier and this is going to be amazing. And then you realize it's a lot of hard friggin' work.
Yeah.
It's day after day after day of doing this stupid shit, and you gotta love it. You absolutely have to love it, or else it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's a very, like, this whole social media, YouTube comments, it's very, like, unnatural for a human being to experience this. It's just, and it's sad because it does happen. There are some people who just, and I'm not saying that they're weak. It's nothing like that at all. What it is, and it's not like a lack of thick skin. It's just there are some people who are more susceptible to the already unnatural nature of putting something online and getting just like, there's nowhere else in the world where you could like put something out there and you get all this instantaneous feedback. I mean, I could get a megaphone and get on the top of my apartment building and maybe 3 people would hear it or whatever. Yeah. But like on the internet, I put out a video, hyper reaction, and there's 40,000 views in like 6 seconds. And
it's crazy.
And it's like that. Like some people just are not, and it's nothing to do with like it's very unnatural already, and it happens with streamers and it just happened because I play World of Warcraft, and there was a streamer named Wreckful who he just took his own life because of hate comments on the internet, and it's super sad because like this is already like a sphere that is so unnatural that I wish people that even if they're trolling should just realize that like, hey man, like what if you wouldn't say it in real life to somebody's face, just reserve the comment and just move along. I wish that would happen, but it doesn't.
I think of it in the exact same way, and exactly in the same way that I respond to comments. Is that like you said? I wish people would realize that there's actually a person on the other side of that thing. Yeah. There's a persona. That they put forward. I put forward a persona. And obviously, it's an exaggerated version of me. Still, it's very much me. But there's another person on the other side of that thing. So when I respond to somebody, it's like it's a name, it's in text, and stuff like that, but there's somebody on the other side of that. So I'm not going to say go fuck off and die, you didn't like this kind of thing. Right. I just won't respond altogether, or like respond positively to people who are giving you positive feedback. Give them a like on that comment or something like that. I engage to that degree. Again, like I think I said before, I'm not a community guy. I'm not in there being best friends with everybody. That would just feels weird to me. I don't even like calling people who watch my videos fans. I hate it. Yeah, that's why I call them. That's why I call them cunt nuggets and shit like that. It's just kind of differentiate myself from that. I don't know if I'm sure you noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't believe that still kept going all this time. It was early on watching reaction channels, like I said before, some nerdy stuff or whatever. There was, I'll say, one channel called like The Real Rejects. I was a big fan of them. They talk about movies and shit like that. I still watch some of their stuff. But they would call their fans the Rejects.
The Rejects, yeah.
It was always something about their name. Like a vlogger would call them like Roman Atwood. It's like Roman's Army and shit like that. And I hated it. I hated it so much. It's so cringy and dumb that I was just like, I'm going to call them a bunch of fucking like greasy boobs or something like that. That'll be fun. Come up. And I got all night at work to come up with the next one for the next day. So that's just like icing on the cake for me. It's something it's funny though, because in a lot of the content that I watch, stuff I was watching right before this, and it happens with a lot of other channels, is things become a part of your persona, things that you say or things that you do. Yeah. And so like people will comment in that idea. Mm-hmm. So like I get comments from people all the time. It's just like, hey, I like this reaction. Here's another band you should check out, you fucking wanker. I'm just like,
that's cool.
All right, that's okay. I like that. Right. I like that people can get that niche humor You know, the niche style of channel that mine is, as cringy as some of the stuff is, the criminal karaokes. I do like the gameplays and stuff, trying to keep it fresh. You know, and I like that people can appreciate that. So that's another reason why I love YouTube so much, is that I'm engaging with a whole lot of people that are kind of like me. You know, they like the same stuff that I like. They like the same kind of humor. Like, I could talk about dead babies and shit on fucking on YouTube, and people are laughing. I'm just like, all right, here we go. How far can we take this shit, you know? I mean, that's becoming less and less and less more recently, as like a lot of the labels that I've come to love for a long time that are kind of coming back on that with like the YouTube algorithm and stuff. And like, you can't really, if you swear in the first 30 seconds, your video's like demonetized, like not monetizable. So then your video gets blocked by a label because they can't place ads on it, kind of idea.
Yeah.
Right.
So that happens with a lot of guys like Century Media, who have had to talk about with that, you know, like Sumerian is kind of like that. You know, so I've kind of, in some videos and some labels, I've kind of had to tone it back. So you might notice in a video that, well, he didn't say fuck or cunt in the beginning of this. Is there something wrong? Maybe we should reach out, see if he's depressed or something. It's like, no, it's like that fucking Demolisher by Slaughter to Prevail. Did you guys do that one?
Yes.
I can't remember if you did that.
We
did.
We listened to the song and then we walked out because it was just
I was just like,
we can't say anything about it. We just left.
I mean, like, so I did that one, but they're under Sumerian Records, and I wasn't able to upload a reaction to the track before that, Agony, because it got blocked. Some people didn't, and I couldn't figure out why. And so over time, I've been trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So with that video, you see the beginning of it, my intro's kind of short, and I don't really swear very much in it. I literally call it out. I'm like, I'm not going to swear because the label that should not be named will strike me down where I stand. They're going to fucking shoot me in the face or whatever. And then, like, I didn't even get a claim on that video for a week. And all of a sudden, after a week, you know, Sony Media Entertainment via, you know, whatever. And that's who it is. It's SME and Warner Media Group are, like, the culprits of, like, blocking stuff that I've noticed anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you got, like... YouTube is kind of becoming a different space, and now it's still kind of fun for me in that, like, I can do different things. There are enough labels and stuff that I check out that I still can kind of be me. But if it actually came down to the fact that I just couldn't say what I want to say and do what I want to do, I'd probably quit at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I did say back in the day that I was going to quit at 100,000 subs.
Yeah, I remember that video. I
never did. I still haven't gotten my fucking plaque. Fucking YouTube.
You haven't? Oh, wow.
No, I've been over 100,000 for 6 months, and they haven't even emailed me. I've tried emailing them, and that's what I was going to do. When I got that plaque, I was just going to make a video going, and then fucking cancel. That's it. Channel's done. Delete all my videos. I did it.
That would have been awesome.
I committed to something, and it's done now.
That would have been awesome.
But I started doing gameplays and stuff and other things to kind of keep me entertained, you know?
Yeah.
So even though those don't get views, like I said, I don't care about views. I'll put up gameplays as long as I want. They're only getting 500 views. I don't give a shit. It's fun. Yeah. I'll watch it back myself. You're not going to watch it, I'll watch it.
Yeah. So there is an important topic that I want to touch on, but before I get to that, I wanted to ask you, because I don't think I'd asked this directly yet, but like, what is your process for picking a song? Do you just kind of look through the comments, make a list, and then kind of go through them, or do you kind of have, like, obviously, like, new releases for bands that you already like are obvious, but like, what is your process in terms of, because people obviously that will watch this are going to wonder, like, how do I get Galactic Criminal to react to my suggestion? Not that there's like a magic formula or whatever, but what is your process like when you sit down to think of, okay, how am I going to pick a song today?
It's most of the time it's completely random as to where I pick it from. If it's coming from the comments, if it's coming from a Facebook page, if it's coming from like Instagram DMs I get from bands and stuff, emails I get from bands. Most of the time it's totally random. Like you did say, if something new is coming out on a certain day, that day, that's the video. That's going to be the video guaranteed that day. Like, obviously, because YouTube is me first thing. Right. You know, so like you got to be the first one to get it out there. I don't really have to, but for the most part, it's like if I'm excited about something, I'm going to do it that day. I do generally kind of have a list. I'll check something out in my Instagram DM. Somebody says, hey, check out this band, or this is my band, check it out. And I'll look into them and I'll check the comments on their videos and stuff like that. And I'll kind of gauge whether I'm going to check it out. It's been like, as to what people have said about it in the comments and stuff like
Right.
that. It's usually the direction that I take. But like as to like specifically the one I pick, I mean like the emails, it's like, so hard to get. You know, some of them I end up checking out that end up not being so great. It's like, did you even watch my channel? When the hell did I ever react to a country song in my fucking entire time being on this thing? Or it's like some weird like world music or something like that. Some guy with a flute and a fucking chair or something like. What in the fuck was that? Or it just ends up being some like 16-year-old kid or something like that who's just like, I just started guitar. My video's got 40 views, and you want to check out my guitar, and I hit play. And it's like, okay, I checked that out, but it's not gonna be a reaction. But
yeah.
But for the most part, like I do like on the first choice or the second choice ends up being something that is pretty great. I mean, most of the time people are pretty good with picking what's good or not, but sometimes they'll check out this band and this song, and I'll hear the song and I'll be like, well, that wasn't incredible. Like, I really liked some parts of that, and I'll maybe like check out another track by that same band. So like they asked me to check out this track, I kind of heard a bit of it, wasn't a fan of it, checked out this instead. I can't remember when the last time I did that was. That's kind of rare, but yeah, most of the time it's random, and I just kind of go with the flow and see what happens. Throw the energy into it, you know. Yeah. You gotta be in a, like for me, I gotta be in a mood when I'm listening to music. I gotta be in a certain like headspace.
Yep.
Or else it could just be a reaction. Like I said before, it'd just be a boring reaction. I just sit there and I look off in the distance and just like, you know, I really liked that, but it's just like the energy wasn't there. You know.
Yeah. Well,
I hate that.
Yeah, well, I can tell you that if we sent you over, you know, our last song, "Find Me, I'm Missing," and if you didn't like it, we wouldn't have cared, because I know in the video you said, "Oh, this could be awkward if I don't like this." But no, it'll never be like that.
It's all good.
It's all good. Don't worry about that.
No, with that video, like I said in the beginning of it, I did say when you guys first suggested to me, you said you got the song coming out. There's a video. We're not sure when the video's coming out. The song will be coming out soon. Will you check that out? And I'm pretty sure I was just like, yeah, I'll do that, absolutely. But yeah, I was just like, well, it's not coming out yet. It's been a week or so, and I don't know what's happening here. So let's just check out something older. And that's what I did. I checked out the last release you'd had, and it went how it went, right? But then I did say I was going to check this video out regardless. So I'm going to sit through this. I'm absolutely going to sit through this and say whatever I have to say by the end of it, regardless of what happens. Nice. And luckily, it was great. It was absolutely great.
We appreciate that. We did take some of your feedback, right? So your tempo change comment was noted. You know, and from an artist perspective, the relentlessness of the tempo going right through was very purposeful. Like, we were just like, we're going to just go from start to beginning on this one. Because I think Paradigm, you know, it had some lulls. It kind of did like the mountain and valley type feel. So when you said tempo, Rich and I both kind of connected with that a little bit, and we actually, I spent about 8 hours yesterday tracking the next single, and I actually changed one of the parts in there for a tempo change. The tempo change is not there, but there's a full feel change, and you know what? You made the song. So whether you react to it or not, like, it changed the way the song felt just by you saying that and us experimenting yesterday. So your feedback was valuable.
Well, you stroked my ego, so now I'm going to have to react to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
I mean, that was kind of just my thought piece. There was just there were definitely there was peaks and valleys and some of the breakdowns and stuff that were really, really cool. The foot stomping and shit. I love that stuff. I was just like, man, there's something kind of missing here. And like you had that break section. And I said, I'm just repeating what I said in the video, but you had that break section where you were screaming the vocals without the music there. Right. And then you came back into the song, and I thought, how cool would that be if you went to like an Orbit Culture moment there, and it was just like right to the end, this chaotic feeling of like, find me, I'm missing, you know, like I'm scared, what do I do? And it's just like by the end of the song, it's just like a frustrated and scared kind of thing at the end of it. I thought, man, that would have been really cool. It was fine what happened. I enjoyed what happened. I thought, that's just another idea, you know, and I do that in a lot of my reactions. I say, this part was really cool, but maybe this would have been cool too. Or the solo maybe could have been more technical or less technical or more melodic to kind of fit the nature of the song. Because sometimes people, like I've said this about the cleans a lot, and I love the cleans you had in this. Again, like I said, I wish that the growl had continued right underneath that that clean.
So we discussed
melody.
that too. It's funny you made that comment, but we discussed that in the recording, and Rich put the kibosh on that one.
Yeah, I did. I got to take responsibility for that.
It's fine, but there was just like one of the, I think it was one of the 2 or 3 times that you did that clean, and the screen went just a little bit underneath the beginning of that clean. I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that. It gives it like a fucking like a box spring under the mattress kind of thing. You know, just kind of lifts it up a little bit, gives it like a little extra punch. You know, maybe not even on every single one of them. Maybe it was like the second or third one. It was just that one that kind of just went kind of forward. Yeah. That would have been, I guess that would have been cool too. But maybe put a symphonic element on it. Everyone's doing it now.
Right. Yeah. Well, because because what happened? So the first chorus, like I said, like you said, had like that interlaced like verse and chorus part, and then the second chorus, we actually interrupted it before he could finish. Find me, I'm missing. So he just said, find me, and then it went right into the breakdown. And then so at the end of it, I was like, I want this guy to just sing the whole part. I mean, it's been 3 choruses now. Let's just let him sing the whole part. But I'll get you out of here on this because I know that this is really something that you wanted to talk about, and I definitely want to give you this platform to do so. You've been very, I don't want to say outspoken because I think when people hear outspoken, they think of that in a negative connotation. But I mean, you made a very impassioned video about the current Black Lives Matter movement, and I gotta say, and I'm sure that you are probably very self-aware of this, but when you see a guy from Canada with a big red beard make that kind of video, it just hits you in a different way. So I'm not gonna say like, you know, like, why do you care so much about this? That's not what I'm asking, but like you're very passionate about this, and obviously it's something that I think everybody should be acknowledge and pay attention to. But you were very impassioned by it, and I just want to know where that comes from. I guess if that's the right question.
You could say it. I was crying the entire time. It was a moment, man. It was just a very real moment that day. I set out to do a reaction, and I was like, I work all night thinking, I want to use my platform to say something about this. I want to be concise about this, and get my point across and my opinion across, and help push this movement, because I fully agree with it. I'm on TikTok. I don't know if you guys have been onto that, but I've been watching a lot of that, and you see a lot of these videos of people just being beaten to shit, for like no reason. Obviously, like people say, like, well, what happened before the video? They could have done this. Like, it doesn't matter. People's rights are being taken away from them. They're being hurt, and I'm seeing over and over and over again in these videos this is happening. And so I recorded my reaction for that day, and then like my energy was kind of gone, and I thought, you know what? I'm not really feeling right now what I should be feeling to put forward the message I want to. Maybe I'll set it off for another day. And it was a Friday, I think. So like I started pounding the beers, and I started watching some more TikTok videos. It's fucking addictive. But then I'm seeing like video after video after video of this happening, and then you see this old man get pushed over. I'm sure you've seen the video. The old man being pushed over, he's bleeding out of his head, and I just lost it. I like to that point. It's like it had been building up, and I was just like, holy fuck, man. And these thoughts are coming into my head as to what I want to say, but I'm crying like a fucking bitch right now. I don't want to. So I held the camera there, and I just started talking. And then just like the rage started building in me, and like thinking about it. It's like, what the fuck, man? So like it didn't really come off the way that I wanted it to, but by the end of it, I thought, like that was just my real moment there. Fuck it, let's put it out there. And I've done that in the past, some videos where I've gotten kind of emotional. Like after my dad passed, I put out a couple of videos where I'd gotten emotional in them, and I thought, like, again, being like pretentious, but it was a real moment. I felt like it was a real moment, and YouTube doesn't have very many real moments these days. So I'm just going to put it out there. And then I got to say, for all people who like commented on that video, they're saying you're brave that you put that out and stuff. I'm like, I appreciate what you're saying, but it wasn't brave. It was a moment, and I felt like it needed to be seen. It was just, here it is. Here's my thoughts. Here's like the pure raw emotion of it. I could have been very concise and just said everything that everyone else has already said on YouTube, and like had reference videos and stuff, and done something like production wise to do that. And I thought, no, that's not who I am. And even when I said in the video, I was like, I didn't start recording this thinking I was going to put it out there, but fuck it. Yeah. It has to be said. I have you guys said, like, it's not very, very small platform, but like my daily viewing, it's not as big as some of the other reaction channels that are out there.
Sure.
But I thought, like, so, like, who am I? I'm just this stupid white kid from fucking Canada, fat bearded guy, just like, who am I to say anything about this? But then I'm seeing all kinds of other people, like, you know, using their platform in that way. I thought, I have a moral obligation to say something, to say that I am for this movement. And if anything, it's going to weed out the racist fucks that are on my channel, which there are some. I've been called an N-word lover in my DMs on
Are you
Instagram.
serious?
People telling me that they're going to unfollow me on Instagram because I've been posting, like, you can post from TikTok to your Instagram stories, which I've been doing.
I didn't know that.
I see some stuff, and they're like, oh, this is bullshit. This is an over-exasperated movement. They don't deserve this and stuff like that. And these all lives matter people that are coming at me, and I'm just like,
right.
you don't get it. You don't get it. You're going to be on the wrong side of history.
So what about me?
Yeah. And, like, I've responded to some people, you know, I say, like, okay, imagine all lives matter. Imagine I'm a firefighter. I show up to your neighborhood, somebody else's house is on fire. Are you going to come up and stand in front of me and say, don't put out that fire? What about all the rest of these houses? All these houses matter, too. It's like, yeah, but this one's on fire
exactly.
now.
Yeah,
I got to save these people in this house and put the fire out. If you don't let me put the fire out, all the rest of these houses are going to get set on fire.
Right.
That's what's happening right now with the riots, with the protesting and stuff like that. And it kills me that the mainstream media is only highlighting, for the most part, the bad side of things, the rioting and stuff like that. They're not highlighting the shit that I'm seeing on TikTok is friendly protests that are the police are antagonizing people. Not all of them. It's not all cops are bad. Don't defund the police. If anything, give them better training. You know, but it's just this unjust idea that it's complacent police officers that are the problem. The ones that are letting things happen because they're afraid for their job. They're afraid for their interaction with their fellow police officers who are acting in this way. I saw a police officer who didn't want to be there. Clearly, this woman was saying, I know you don't want to be here. He's a black man. I know you don't want to be here. This is just your job. Or was he military? I can't remember. And he started crying because he didn't want to be there.
Jesus.
Standing there in his riot gear with his camouflage and everything on, and he's just standing there trying to be strong, and then he just starts bawling because this woman is pleading with him. You know, like, we don't hate you. We want to work with you and, like, make things better and everything. So it's that. It was the culmination of all these things, and I'm kind of a sensitive guy, and some people wouldn't believe that, but I can be a sensitive guy, man. So when I see that stuff, it kills me. I mean, just like hate and anger and stuff like that just does not deserve to be in the world, man. It does not deserve to be there. That's kind of my 2 cents on that.
No, and I think that's a great way to kind of end this podcast. It's, to me, you know, the mainstream media totally lights. I mean, not to use the word lights fires, but they make the situation, they do it all for ratings, and it in a lot of ways it makes everything just so much worse, and it antagonizes. It's a shame. I mean, it really is. It's a shame the way that they kind of they portray, like, you have, like, you know, News Station 1, News Station 2, they have their own agendas, and it's just like can't we all just why is it still not universally agreed upon that, like, hey, don't be racist? Like, why is that, like, still just like a foreign concept to people? It's just crazy. But I really do. I know that, like, I'm not going to say that you're brave or whatever, but I do really appreciate that you put that out, because I think, you know, because as somebody who's been watching you for a long, long time, it really allowed me to see a side of you that you don't see in a monochromatic black reaction, you know? So, but, man, I really appreciate you doing this.
This was awesome.
I really wanted to give you another platform to speak on that. I know that's really, really important to you. And, I really appreciate you doing this podcast, man, and giving us your time. I know it's your Friday, but I hope you enjoy, because right now for you it's like almost midnight, for not literally time-wise, but like in the context of your work schedule. So I appreciate you doing this, man, and we can't wait to see you react to our next track here. We hope you like it. We took some of your criticisms and we implemented them, and yeah, man, we're glad to have gotten to meet you through this all reaction experience.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you again so much. And this is where I'm going to give you the floor to, I know obviously people watching this will kind of know who you are. But go ahead and plug away anything you want to plug, anything at all. Floor is yours.
Brand new video out today. I almost threw up. It was fucking incredible. I plan on doing another criminal karaoke maybe today, so you might look forward to seeing that later. I'll probably be drunker than piss when I do it. You can check out.
We'll react to that.
And Instagram. Instagram is where you can find me for the most part. That's where I'm the most active. Is there?
Nice.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, Galactic Criminal. Thanks so much, my man, and you have a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much if you made it to this point of the podcast. We really appreciate it. Both Adam and I do a lot.
Very much.
Make sure, if you want to support the podcast, head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and a review. And also make sure you share this podcast wherever you can. Unlike music, which we are more so used to promoting, these platforms don't really do a whole lot to help podcasts be promoted. So the only way to do so is to, like I said, share it, word of mouth. And also, if you want to support us even further, like we said, we are a band called TrueShot. Stream our music, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music. And if you want to support us even more than that, we have a merch store, TrueShot.BigCartel.com, where you can go to pick up some merch from us. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.